camera's actually right there, just in case you want to look at it.
I know. Where is it?
It's right here.
Okay. I never look. I always look funny because I never
You look at you look at yourself. It's more on me. I mean,
no, and sometimes I just don't.
Can you put it more on you? Just a little bit?
Yeah, let me
there you
just
go.
fix that. Okay.
Welcome to another episode.
It's not really a whole episode.
No, not at all.
And I'm doing my mascara.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we actually
my
could do a
hair.
whole episode. We're on our way to see a show. Oh,
We're on our way to.
let's promote it. Yeah. Do you know his name?
Super fun.
No, what's his name?
Nate Nathaniel. Last name I don't know.
Nate Jackson,
Nate
Super
Jackson.
Funny Comedy Club in Tacoma, Washington.
I'll do better to remember
to
that.
go see Darrell Rollins, Ashy Larry from Dave Chappelle's show.
See that name on the sign? That's me.
This is comedian Nate Jackson's dream coming to life. A busy bar, a room that can hold 600 people, a headlining act so happy he added 20 minutes to his usual hour-long set.
This is one of the biggest comedy clubs in the country. We have some of the biggest acts and biggest names in the country.
I mean, I think that Darrell Rollins is is a GOAT. Who up? We up. If you guys know what I'm talking about, those that follow him on Instagram, he is crazy. I actually saw Darrell Rollins. I'm sorry for doing this now. I saw him in 2003 on the set of Question Mark. I want to say Bernie Mac's show, doing warming up the crowd. So the comedians come out to warm up the live for studio audience. Live for studio audience. Audience. I say it differently. I wish we could see you doing your mascara right now. She's doing her mascara in the car, which I'm sure gets done. Oh, there you go. That's fun. Anyway.
It's not always the safest thing to do. Definitely don't do it while you're driving. I don't think. Well, I mean,
right, like
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be a hypocrite if I was like, I've never done it while driving.
I shouldn't be looking at the camera while I'm driving, and I am.
Don't.
Yep, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not looking at the camera.
Especially around those S curves.
S curves. Yeah. Ooh, it's getting a little bit cold in here with this air conditioning.
I'm sorry. You know what? It was really hot a second
80
ago.
degrees
It's so
tomorrow.
hard to find the perfect temperature in a car.
Today was a nice day. We went and made it a day. Went to a soccer game.
It was awesome.
For kindergartners.
Our 6-year-old's first
soccer game.
Yep.
That's cool. I'm sure some of you have experienced that. It's pretty crazy. Some very entertaining young.
We got him doing his very first goal in a game too. He scored a goal.
Yeah.
Very first soccer
But
time.
a lot of other kids didn't score.
A lot of other kids, especially
that
the
other
other team scored.
That other team hit us up with like 19
I don't think
shots.
they don't count points at this. Oh my gosh,
Man.
the cutest thing ever is that they cheer for each other at the end. They say, "Who do we appreciate?" And then our school says the other school, and the other school says it, calls it back, and says that they appreciate us.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because it's cute.
Is it really cute? Because it sounds facetious, like you're not really serious.
No, it's really,
okay.
really, really, really precious. It's
Okay.
so precious. It's just like instilling.
That wasn't my experience.
And
Go ahead. Yeah, I didn't like the other team. I didn't like Maroons.
What?
I didn't like St. Maroons.
Oh my gosh.
The maroon uniforms. St.
That's
Maroons was out there. They had a dude. I called him the pinball. Little cute as a button dude, short stack, came out and he was hip checking and running full speed. He was kicking the ball all over the place.
I thought he was like out there, smelling the roses. Like that's what I saw him doing. He was
having fun. He ran whatever direction the ball was at or people were at. And I felt like that just disrupted the game. It made our kids want to play too, like actual play, sit down and grab some toys and play. We didn't score very much. I think we scored 2 points. Yeah, it was cute. But anyway, that happened today. But after that, we went to a park to go have a little pizza. Pizza pies.
Outdoor, socially distanced
pizza engagement with part of our bubble. Part of our new
bubble.
Third phase bubble. Everyone should stay safe. I don't know what you guys are doing.
New phase 3 bubble.
But Tukwila over here.
Yeah.
She was talking about set trip, and she ended up having a conflict of interest. Other people of her ethnic persuasion
sure did.
Were out and about with their kids at the park, and they were a group of ladies, 3 people, Caucasian ladies, I guess, were out at the park
Caucasian
that were
ladies.
doing normal stuff, just normal like normal stuff. But
You know what, though?
what?
I
What?
don't know. Their normal stuff is wackadoodle.
But
Some
they-
of them, it's just...
They were
I know I sound like that sometimes, too. I'm not removing myself from...
But they were having their day out in the sun.
Okay, yeah. They were enjoying their day out in the sun.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm ruining my dang it. And I'm sure they were talking about important things like
Motorcycles. They weren't talking about motorcycles. But
they were
that's
talking
what
about
you said.
Nordstrom's opening up. They were
I
talking
don't
about,
know. It just like honestly, it kind of was in it one ear out the other and started just kind of sounding like a tone. But they're talking about boating, whose boat they're gonna go on, and which
For the
body
West?
of water they're gonna go to this weekend or tomorrow or
real?
something, and
Wow.
what's too windy over there, and
They were back to the bougie bonton stuff, right?
they're in their bougie bonton
But
stuff.
the thing that I think is interesting, which I didn't see and you told me, is
Well,
that
what
you go ahead. You stared at me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just didn't mean to cut into you. I thought that we were going to... Okay, no. I would love for you to...
I don't know what you did, but you said you were staring at people.
I wasn't staring at... I mean,
Almost got a fight.
nobody got in a fight or anything like that. It's just hard not to kind of... Like, I don't know. It's just kind of hard not to mean mug people sometimes when they're just so blatantly... That's always been a thing. Just like,
So you found
like-
yourself indifferent to these ladies,
Yeah, I found myself indifferent to these ladies.
and you were about to reverse Karen them. You were willing to put your eyes on them and gaze upon them like they were a foul.
Like they were out of their damn minds, yeah.
And you probably weren't wrong, but what is it that makes... Why is that?
Like, you know, I mean, there were...
A
I mean,
trigger.
well, I don't know. It was just...
What is a trigger in you as a white woman looking at white women do their bougie? I can't wait to go to the Lily and do. I'm sorry if I'm mocking people.
White
but
people.
what-
White
yeah.
people in only white people spaces talking about white people's stuff is just...
It's almost like collusion. They're still.
It is!
Oh, I just was making up
It's a
some.
great word for
It's
it.
almost like supremacy collusion.
White supremacy collusion. Yes.
They weren't even talking about being white supremacists, but they
No.
were doing things.
So fun fact, the stairs were like 20 feet away. As you may have heard, Donald Trump incited a mob of angry white supremacists, Trump supporters, to overthrow the government at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. But little did these terrorists know, if you haven't done anything remotely active in over 25 years, do not try to change that on the day you stage a coup. I guess you can't develop upper body strength in your mom's basement after all. But luckily for him, he didn't have to worry about sustaining any traumatic brain injuries after the fall. But it did give us some quality content. After seeing him fall, I bet this guy is having second thoughts.
Lee, hold up! Oh, hell no.
Sorry for that brief interruption.
Yeah.
The maximum recording time was met on Leonard's phone. We'll see how long the one on my phone lasts.
Well, at least we're on the best camera. in the
You're so
market.
great at editing things. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay.
It's going to be fantastic.
I actually like Boston, so that's pretty good.
I like to try to sound. I like to try on different. What is it? Boston, Southern, different.
Right.
I can't think of the words. I got 3 hours of sleep last night.
Country.
Accents from around the country.
Okay. So, white.
Oh yeah, so we were talking about these three white ladies.
No, but we call it, what's the phrase we just use? White
supremacy collusion.
Collusion. Just being overtly. So but it's going to be an accidental truth. I mean, what is that? Is that a thing? I mean, like, is it wrong to overindulge in frivolous, superficial concepts? Now, to them,
I feel like you can tell when somebody's talking who always does it and has no other tone and has no other measure and has no other way of connecting. I feel like there's a way to
What?
I don't know what it is.
What you were talking about the new like?
I can tell that they don't talk about anything outside of themselves.
I see.
And their own worlds and their own whatevers. And when they do, they don't consider anybody else's point of views except for their own, as their own as being, their thoughts, their views, their ways, their this, their that. And that's kind of like that white supremacy collusion, perhaps. There, is like, most dangerous kind maybe is the kind that doesn't realize that it's doing it at all.
But you were sitting there and you're having a good conversation with our new close friend, and she's ethnic, and you're talking with her. Now, did our friend notice you noticing them, or did you guys both?
No, because we weren't down. I was down there by myself. I was down there watching our kids by myself.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what happened? I mean, I was already side-eyeing and just kind of like, because I had to be within close range of where they were posted and sitting because of where our 2-year-old was. So I put myself, wherever I was going to be within earshot of them. Mm-hmm. And they were talking real loud, real whatever. And fine, that's fine. It's their prerogative. Yeah, they can talk as loud as they want to, but, not without consequence of me looking at them like they're nuts, because I think that what they're talking about.
In theory, it's you against 3. And you're looking at them.
But I could tell that there was an immediate change in their body language and their tone, and they got more quiet when our son, our 6-year-old, loudly got excited and proclaimed, and he started doing some, pretend martial arts type things, and he was like, let's play ninja game. And my response to him in that moment, this is something maybe he picked up from kindergarten or somewhere, I don't think I've ever heard him actually say something like that or play that way, and I said, and I talked to him a little bit as best as I could with what limited knowledge I have about ninjas in that martial arts form. And I said, you know what? I said, before we play a game about that or anything, that being, that's a real martial arts form that comes from a real culture, and we should learn about that and know about that before we just, go around pretending like we're, ninjas and this or that. And I said that to him in front of these ladies, and like almost immediately it was like quietness and weirdness, and they got kind of, and then the rest of the time that they were there for however much longer, it was like it shifted a little bit.
Their energy shifted.
Yeah, their energy shifted.
Because they felt the woke.
I don't know what they
felt the wokeness.
About that. Oh my God.
I have this, and so that's why I was joking earlier. Is that you guys didn't hear it, but I was joking because I feel like the new normal will be to like acquisition someone that's woke. White folks acquisitioning another white person who's woke enough to qualify them to also be semi, through proxy and association, a little bit like we're, I agree. Like I can hear them doing that, like, oh yeah, no, that was good. You really inspired me. Like we started watching Jackie Chan, and we started watching a lot of, martial arts movies, and we started talking about, I feel like they would do that if they were like your friend, or they'd want to have you over and they'd be like,
I don't know. I'm being they just got a bit more uncomfortable after they heard me say that, which wasn't my intention. Wasn't looking to make them feel uncomfortable or they didn't even notice that I was giving them side eyes. They were so like into their conversation, but I'm sure, or maybe they didn't care. Who knows? I don't know.
But at the risk of actually a future, not for you, at the risk of actually having a future confrontation, like I'm seeing a lot of what, I don't know what we're calling them because it changes all the time. I'm seeing allies and accomplices that are white, male and female, who are becoming so educated,
intuitive.
They're intuitive and educated that they're able to like,
in the moment.
Oh, that's not going to happen right now. We're not going to have that happen in here. We're not going to do that in front of these black children or these Asian children or these there's allies. There's people that are, I don't know if there's a above the bar, but they're becoming basically more human.
That's not to say that I don't still offend. That's not to say that I don't still give out. I know, a few times in one day too. A few times. One of which I it's like a continuing offense that, like, I don't know. It's just awful. Really, it's just awful. Maybe we can talk about that too.
But what's the thing that the phrase that they're talking about? I mean, I use the phrase "see something, say something." So I kind of like the moment of stare down, but I also get uncomfortable with the fact that I don't think that we need to be confrontational in thought and theory, and in essence, you were kind of confrontational. Like,
No.
they don't even know those eyes are even possible on them. Like, you get what I'm saying? They don't know that that's possible. That someone's out there going, "You're not going to do that today." Because when you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but they didn't do anything but be themselves though either.
Okay.
Like, they weren't saying anything that was like overtly racist themselves that I heard. They were just being themselves, and it was, and
good.
that tone of being themselves becomes more and more and more annoying.
But hit me to what puts you off. What you said annoying. What's putting you off? Just being able to see with a different goggles?
Just
yourself?
Their inability to self-reflect in any parts of conversation and to consider other people, even the other white ladies who are sitting in front of them.
They're
like,
just talking
to
too
even
loud.
consider
They're like,
themselves.
you know,
No, it's not even like too. I just like, I don't know. It just feels like something's missing.
Now I will.
Honestly, it just feels like there's something missing.
I don't think that anybody should stress over that subject, but I will say that what's a superpower of yours is that preceding any of this education that people are getting, you've always been the person to be like that. I mean, I'm going to say, but you call out BS when you see BS. Like
as best as possible. I mean, and I slip up.
But what's interesting is here. This is like
I've made
this
so
is
many
irking you a
mistakes.
different.
So many
This is
mistakes.
irking you in a different way. I'm thinking to see. It's almost like they're getting away with what they've been doing the whole time. This is what I know. So I'll speak as a black male, and I'm sure there's some people that are friends of mine that are also ethnic that know white, that think and say themselves, white people get away with so much shit. And even in that moment, I hear and feel that's what's happening.
We do.
Because they're talking about going on the boats, they're talking about going to, doing this and having this trip and that. Like, that luxury is not there. Now, people would say, we have a troll that attacked borderline racist marriage on Instagram and me directly. And that dude, I'm sure he would say that, like he said to me, you're just being the victim, you're perpetuating being the victim. It's basically garbage to use the phrase people of color or POC. It's garbage to address it. These are statistical reality. There's statistical reality to say that everyone's suffering and African Americans are causing suffering. Now, that's an interesting truth, because I do believe that if you look at the way history is written, the way that data is aggregated, and you look at FBI statistics, when he goes and when that gentleman, I would call him a gentleman, he's not a gentleman, but when that gentleman talks to me, which he doesn't know how much I do understand and know, because he even mentioned the FBI and so on and so forth.
Well, he was really quick to jump on your IQ.
I know for a fact that the aggregated data related to black and brown people and the crimes they've committed is extremely high, highly denoted, because they have had more people incarcerated than any other race. So it's like, just on that point alone, he's never wrong if he says, well, black and brown people cause more pain, they commit more crimes.
That's totally debunked, though, by it actually factually being directly related to poverty and not race.
Elaborate. I mean, I don't.
So the actual, first of all, it's a bunch of BS to just get hung up in your data and your numbers and your this and your that. That's also wrought with white supremacy to check off your boxes and tick your things and do all of your stuff.
Right.
That is, it's cultural to white Western. I don't know if it's specific to America.
Well, I mean, if you write the book,
if you write the book, and if you're white and you make those tests, then, anyways. All I'm saying is that, first of all, only talking about any of this from the perspective of data without taking heed to experience and impact is super problematic. But even the data shows that crime is more related to poverty than it is to race.
Oh, okay.
That's what's correlated the most with who perpetuates the most crime. People who are in poverty, who are in need, who can't diaper their babies, feed their families, make rent, who are in severely survival mode,
And then there's problematic people, though, that lean into the cracks and who are on the far right who will be like, well, this is to pick you up by your bootstraps.
Toxic individualism.
You should have already figured out how to survive that, because we did. We came to this country and we had nothing. Whoever we is, pick a predominantly white or European racial group. So. Irish. I understand. So the Irish, Irish and the Irish and Greeks never had it good. There's there's no one that's really ever had it good. I will just say that's to say one. That's the most important fact. No one's ever had it good, but to have the platform, the ground to walk on without being placed into a poverty, like there was poverty in the very beginning of America's establishment, but there's also slaying of souls to take over this land. So when you look at who killed who and who chained who and then who incarcerated who, then you start to see the pattern. The pattern is, in the same way that you might aggregate data, you can say, well, who's the one that predominantly dominated more people on purpose to reap the benefits of their life or take their life, to farm their lands, to rape their people? Who's the one that gained the most throughout the course of history? Now that data's not written. There's no hell book where you go, well, what looks more like purgatory, living with white America or
living with white America?
Or living with America. That's actually what I was thinking in my head. That's why I started laughing.
Oh, hey.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so white America,
getting more psychic.
White America should have never swallowed the key, to the change. They should unlock that and then either readjust, put themselves in a position of what's the word? Repentance. Self-repentance, I believe, is, I don't even know if that's a way that word could be used, but I think that if there was a reflection, and if the reflection and acknowledgement can continue. What do you have?
I have something to add.
Yeah, please do.
I was having a conversation with someone with a person of color today, with someone who is Chinese American, and from their perspective, reparations, like looking at it from their perspective as a whole, critically, there's a fear of getting reparations. There's a fear of it because that would be white people controlling that, checking off the box and going, it's over, right? Like, and still continuing the problematic, right? We paid everybody in a similar sense that state-sanctioned murders and violence, police killing black and brown bodies at an exponential rate, way higher than white people. The state goes, oh, whoopsies, we did that. We were wrong. This is awful. Here's $4 million, which just happened in not too far from our own community this week. They settled for $4.4 million. And the statement of the family is pretty much like, this isn't about money.
Because they killed him.
Because they killed somebody in a mental illness crisis. It's happening all over the place. The ones, just because you're seeing it on TV and you're seeing it because people catch it on camera doesn't mean that those are the only murders happening that way. They're happening everywhere all the dang time. So, but the problem, right? We paid, there's correlating reparations to fixing anything is the fear, is what I was hearing from this person. And I
understand. That's really intelligent. And but then the answer is what? It's truly. Here's what I reflected on in my adulthood as a. And going, I've gone to some counseling and stuff like that, and as being a black male and going, oh my God, I have to keep reminding myself, I had no black males structure this being. No males were available to me to help build the human that I am. And it hurts my heart because I know why the systematic racism and all of the other things and the governmental systems pushed all those men before me into primarily military to serve because they were not astute, upstanding citizens in that one way, but they were valuable enough to put their bodies on the line to protect all of us, eating our chips and dip wherever that we are in America.
Valued and not honored, like how?
Yeah. And my heart is hurt because when I think about
valued for their, go, get yourself killed over there, but then, not honored here, taken care of here.
Yeah. And I don't know. Well, military men and women are not taken care of well anyway.
Right.
That's
all.
So I mean, that's
veterans.
That's the dupe in the system. But I understand it because I mean I've longed for it too. And primarily, I longed to want to be in the military because that's what I saw. My 0 to 3 years old was watching a man walk in the house with a uniform on. I don't remember a lot in Germany. I'm in Germany and I'm watching my father and my mother, and there's a man that I love.
Those earliest formative years of seeing
that's
that,
all it's in my cortex, so I wear it inside of my being. But anyway, when I come to reparations, though, I think about what I want is you to cover the balance. It's like, okay, so you guys overdrew and killed all these people, generation after generation after generation. I just want that to be covered right now. Can you cover that part? I'm the bank. You made it. You have the problems, and I now need you to do that. So it's gross because they stole souls. Whoever they is. America is a melting pot, and we are capable of changing and altering our future in a way that still holds democracy true, because it is a democratic reality, meaning like we all are here to assess where we are and then create a pathway to make sure that we're all being accommodated. Reparations doesn't take from you, whoever you is on the right that doesn't want reparations to happen. It doesn't take from you. And I know that it's money, and I know that you're probably like very intelligently deduced this, you're going to be like, well, that's the end.
If that goes there, then it can't come to me. I'm sorry.
Well,
that's what
What? The money? If money goes there, does it come to me?
Yeah. There's this. They're not enslaved now. That's in the past. That's D.
And I'm willing, as you know, I will walk the right line. I will walk on the right side of the line, and I understand. I mean, here's the thing: is if this is all completely not likely, but if you did allocate all the money that needs to go to all the Native American tribes and people, not the tribe. I know that I shouldn't talk about that because I know that's not my story, but there's some issues that go down in the tribal community for real, First Nations or whatever you're utilizing, or But if America supplied that, I don't know how you would figure out what the denomination is, that $4 million per person.
As we drive by a casino.
Yeah, if you supply that $4 million per person check to every single First Nations or African American associated to the beginnings of America and anything before anyone born before 1964. This is me making stuff up, and I don't know how you can quote me on this, but this is my thought theory. People that have come here and not established, have been a part of people have come here that have established America's new nuance, who have helped give us the fabric of women's rights, cultural rights, African American rights, educational rights, anybody that's helped, disability, all that stuff that happened after 1960. I said 60, after 64. So if you were here before that, then you deserve a certain reparations, in my opinion. If you came here and you brought your children here before then, and then they became, I should be looking up the place.
No, we're fine. Look at the time.
I know, but I need to look up the place too because I don't know where it is.
Okay, well, I can try to start doing that on your phone.
But if you came here before then, and your family, you created a first generations, like I know it gets kind of the schematic. This is my version. This is schematics. The semantics of it is that if you have someone that was first generation before 1964, then I believe that you deserve some denomination of reparations. America is an industry, and we've built it. But imagine if we put that money that's sitting in Fort Knox, which is not really true, or all the money that we borrowed from China, If we took that money and then paid it to the humans, all of us humans, that have established the rights for others, enslaved, estranged, killed, or land taken from, so that's where the First Nations come into play. And I know that there's going to be this gray zone about what about all of the white Americans who helped build this country.
Okay, so also,
I understand that, and I'm saying that, I don't even know, but I do see a reason.
Exits away, or 2 or 3.
I do see a reason for
Have ABCs and
for
stuff.
people that were here, that established America, who came here on those boats in the very beginning, to come here to move away from their atrocious countries and their difficult environments, to come here and build America. I do see reason for them to receive something as well. And I know that gets convoluted, because you're like, I'm talking about Irish, Italian, I'm talking about all of those people. I hate to point it back at Europe, but I'm not anti-Europe, but I'm anti-European colonialism. I'm anti that.
We don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
We need to shift away. Like, it's way overdue to shift away from this. We don't need to do that anymore.
Right.
Like, we made it to the land of plenty. We don't have to murder everybody and take over and implement money and capitalistic, like, toxic individualist systems anymore. Like, we might have gotten frozen off in Europe from our, sisters and brothers after coming north up out of Africa and into, what's Central Asia now. And, like, we went west, and whatever happened back then made us...
the big migration.
I'm talking about the big migration. I'm taking it back, right? Yes.
And not the movie Ice Age, which is interesting series.
And the people who went east fared a lot. They had much easier lives and times, because the land was, they weren't freezing and fighting for their lives as hard. They didn't get rickets? Okay, 129. So we're one more away.
Yeah.
Anyways, we don't have to do that anymore. We never had to do it since we landed here, or since, what's his butt, didn't know how to navigate himself in the oceans and whatever. We did not have to approach
this the way we did.
The people who were here.
I think that's
so much violence, and we don't have to keep going with the same kind of violence. We're like stuck in this like
you would teach.
Let's evolve out of that. We can evolve out of that.
Like you would teach a child, like, you don't use your hands, you don't have to hit, you don't have to yell. Like you would tell a child how to navigate changing their energy and their way, and inside voices.
Right.
It's like
gentle
hands. Like, it's literally the same mantra. Like, oh, you thought being an adult was amazing, and that's why you grabbed your AR-15 and you arrested all those people. You do that stuff, but guess what? That's okay.
No, we need to use our words to identify our feelings.
Gentle hands. Do I get up here?
Yes.
Yeah. Gentle hands. Use your words. Kamate. Quiet Coyote. That's from the movie Soul. Like, just, which one? Oh, shit. Shoot. Damn it. Left?
Left 200 feet.
Okay.
South 72nd.
This gets weird. But
south, it's all left. South 72nd.
Y'all. Republicans.
Also, can I add?
Yeah, but we're going to be closing this off soon.
Before we address Republicans. I mean, all Democrats too. Like,
no, it's real talk. Yeah, I'm not a Democrat like that. Yeah, no, because I got some problems with.
It's all white.
I have problems with Hillary Clinton, and I'm sorry.
I do too. Okay. All right.
Say that,
another thing is identifying, like, now every time there's like this money, pay money. Like, another thing that came up in conversation that I had today.
Okay.
Was money, and it was just something that came up. I think I touched on it too. Just the one of the biggest problems I am beginning to see with money is that it places value on something that literally has no value. It's a piece of paper with ink on it. Okay. It doesn't represent how hard you work. For a lot of folks, it represents how hard your ancestors screwed over other people. Here's the thing. It doesn't hold anything of value, not only physically, but morally or characteristically. It allows it allows us to like think that people who have tons of it, you know, that's what to be. That's what to, like, how wrong is that? Like, we don't judge people. I mean, I can't say collectively, right? I'm blanket stating something right now, but our society, right? Mm-hmm. The majority culture on like is crazy over money, and is like, you know, wants more money.
Right. So I mean,
and a lot of the people who have money, tons and tons and tons of money, are total idiots.
So,
like completely, like they're totally, they're like morally corrupt. They're just like soulless. Like I don't even know,
again,
man. Like it's just
using the an analogy of a child. If you have a child in a room and there is, let's just say, 50 toys, their nature of play and how they just kind of touch everything but don't really get into any. I mean, like that's their toys. They have 50 toys to play with versus 1, 2, or 3. The issue is it's like a washed out version of their play. I don't know if your experience is the same.
Because they have too many toys.
They have too many toys, and then chaos happens. When it comes to sharing those 50 toys, the same desire happens that of a person who has 3 toys. People that are wealthy. I don't have anything against capitalism in the sense that if you can make and have money, that's great. What I don't like is how if you do have that, you do not have some kind of process. I refer to tithing, but some kind of process whereby
it's supposed to be taxes, right?
Well, no, but I'm talking about like where you're actually directly spending your energy to affect and positively affect the community around you. I don't know what your main point is. I don't know if you're saying we should abolish money. I don't know if that's the way it is, but I know that you're saying
right.
that the value of what we're putting on.
I'm not prepared to make any statements. All I'm doing is saying.
Yeah. I would agree that capitalism, as it has been designed, is problematic because it didn't work really well.
It has us chasing things that are hurting us.
I understand the point of
killing us.
If I understand that the wealthy are like, it's working great, but it doesn't really work really well because in and of effect,
I would say the comfortable. I would say that the people who are so comfortable.
I believe the statistics that say that it's only sustainable for like 2 to 3 generations. If you're wealthy, and then your next generation and your next generation after that, they're diffused they're chasing the money and not the truth. That's what I was talking about, the kid analogy about being in the room. They've had all this stuff.
You mean like you stay good people for 2 generations and then you start getting screwed up because you're being given everything and you're not.
The association to the dollar and how
that person's coming on down. But we have enough room to move over.
Is this a parking spot?
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I don't see the issue here.
Neither do I. That person can get out, and so can we, right? Yeah. This is fine.
I'm about to bump a Jaguar, though.
No. Just back out and you can get a little bit closer to this car.
I'm good. Yeah. So I think that
You don't think so?
What?
Oh no, our butts.
Our butts in. I think that the confusion about, even though it's just capitalism is just a word, the confusion of the pride of wealth is that it brings your family joy. It's not true. It brings you success. I don't understand what it's like. I mean, I don't have that kind of money, so I don't know what it's like. How successful does Bezos feel? I mean, he lost his wife. He got this situation. She's
given all of it away.
You know what I'm saying?
His wife.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know. That's something I didn't even know you were going to touch on that note, but that's like a whole nother discussion on its own, because I can tell you right now, Black America is looking for that dollar, and they're going to keep looking for that dollar. So now that's part of this. That's part of the
because I mean, systemically, it's like, let's take that over, and then
right. Well, let's get our money and do something.
If we are
valuable.
Forced to play this game,
right. So it's a very complicated, but that's also but that's also the world game now, and that's the confusion part. Like it's a whole world problem. That's why racism is also a whole world problem. Countries have built themselves up on America's idiosyncrasy in regards to capitalism and money, and at the same time, America as borrowed against their value of what we quote unquote are as a country. I mean, that's what all that per capita is. But that's neither here nor there. But this has been an interesting.
It's been an interesting episode.
feel like
I
we
think it
should
might
say-
be a full episode.
Let's just say
We meant to just shoot a little blurb, but
right. Let's
here
just
we go.
say their show name just to make sure I have it done. Yeah.
We could say welcome. We could even do our
well,
welcome.
thank you. We'll just say thank you at the end. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Borderline Race. Refresh the button.
What we should do is our intro as well, and you can splice it onto the.
It's dark though. It's too dark.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's dark in the back. We started off
doesn't
in the light.
matter.
It does. It does.
Oh.
We did enough. I did enough.
We
in the
could
beginning.
just no, it doesn't because it can be sloppy. Okay, we're shooting our
God,
beginning and our
why?
ending, and gonna splice
Everyone's
it to the
watching
front.
us. Okay, go.
Okay, welcome to
Another episode of Borderline Racist Marriage. If you press the real button, I'll cover the mic. Here, press the button.